Plastic pollution has reached crisis level and polluters must be held accountable. That's according to the World Wildlife Fund. The organisation says those guilty should face the same consequences as oil polluters. WWF South Africa's Lorren de Kock explains now. Thank you very much, Lorren, for your time. So who are the greatest contributors to plastic pollution, producers or consumers?
So just to make it clear, I mean, plastics is a very valuable material in our modern society. The biggest problem we face is how this material is managed. And that's what the report looks at, is how to transition this linear system that we have now, leading to increasing levels of plastic pollution because of our increasing production and consumption, to a more circular system where it is kept at its highest value and it doesn't generate waste. I think we all need to take responsibility for this crisis that we are facing, and that's every stakeholder in the value chain, from the resin producers, importers, manufacturers, brand owners and retailers, as well as consumers, because I think we all have a role to play and we need to all come together to find solutions for this very complex systemic problem.
Lorren, you want plastic polluters to face the same kind of fines and penalties as oil polluters. Those measures are aimed more at producers than the consumers, though, which raises the question, why aren't there already serious fines and penalties in place for large-scale plastic polluters in the industrial and consumer goods sectors?
So I think you're referring to the nurdle spill that was experienced off the Cape Coast earlier this week. And we are hearing of a lot of civil society organisations, as well as the industry body Plastic South Africa, who are trying to clean up. Normally for those instances, insurance pays out for the producer who was sending those nurdles to South Africa. There is also a program called Operation Clean Sweep, but it is more a voluntary agreement with some producers being members, and it really doesn't have the teeth to enact the penalties that actually are required. When you see what happens during these cleanups, I think the last one that happened on the Durban coast 2 years ago, only 10% of these nurdles were actually retrieved. It's a big problem, and I think with our increasing production consumption and the global transport of these nurdles via ships, it's going to become, it is a big problem. And I think new regulation and new forms of accountability need to be brought into play.
While prevention is better than mitigation, are there ways we can more effectively manage plastic waste at the end of its life cycle?
I think we do have a problem with waste management. I think that's the case in most developing countries. It is insufficient. It doesn't have enough financial or operational support. And I think that's where the newly promulgated extended producer responsibility regulations gazetted during this week are very timely as to try and get producers involved in the processes of end of life, because what extended producer responsibility is that producers need to start taking responsibility and paying for the collection, sorting, recycling and other waste treatment activities of the products, and in this case plastic packaging that they put on the market. We still have a long way to go when it comes to waste management in South Africa. We still have a long way to go with consumer behaviour. But again, that's only one stage of the plastics life cycle that we need to work on. There are a lot of other upstream activities that need to be put in place, such as product design, designing packaging to be recyclable, to have a high value so it is collected and it does come back into the system. Exploring innovative reuse models, refill models, that sort of thing. So while waste management is very important, I think there needs to be collective responsibility to try and get that up to the standard that we need.
Well, thank you very much. That was Lorren de Kock from the WWF South Africa.